Here's the Cleveland Browns pick. Is this the moment?
The Seattle Seahawks have traded the 144th pick to the Cleveland Browns. With the 144th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select SHEDEUR Sanders, quarterback, Colorado.
Listen to the reaction.
The reaction in the draft hall says it all. The moment that and by we, I'm including every human on the screen, every single person who's been watching our draft coverage, and anyone else's, so we appreciate your viewing and viewership. SHEDEUR Sanders just went, but he went to the team that could have had him 6 times over, chose not to, including drafting another quarterback. Let's give SHEDEUR his moment. Go for it.
Yeah, let's get to the film. I feel like we've talked about everything but the tape for so long now. Let's get to what SHEDEUR Sanders is on the grass. He's got a point guard style. He's just got to speed up his clock and play faster. But CD, when he's got everything lined up and he's getting his feet in the ground, he is a very accurate thrower.
It isn't playing faster kind of the norm that we say for college quarterbacks, because things are going to go faster in the league to begin with. So things that you could get out of in college, because you always think your athleticism is going to beat most of the defenses, and it usually does. You have to change. Cleveland passed on him. We might be just getting an idea of where Cleveland had him ranked, and now they got him in that spot. I understand all this, but here's the best part for him. Kenny Pickett's there, Joe Flacco's there, Dylan Gabriel's there. There's no one there that he can't compete against. This is still an opportunity for him to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. It is a big quarterback room, but it's not one that's so daunting that SHEDEUR Sanders, who was a borderline first-round talent, can't go in there and compete. And to me, it's the right style of offense. They got the runners for him earlier in the draft. The way Stefanski calls plays, this fits what SHEDEUR Sanders is going to need to go forward in the NFL. Well, he's going to hate where he went, but it's a good spot.
Let's talk about that, because we have been saying for 2 straight days now, it's not when you go, it's what you do when you go. I mean, Max Crosby even tweeted that out at the top of the 4th round, because he was a 4th round pick when he came in out of Eastern Michigan, and now look what he's become. So yes, there will be an opportunity, one will think, but I mean, there really is, only one football on occasion. And on top of that, how does that conversation go when you call him? Like, how, you know what I mean? Like,
I thought the exact same thing. Who picked up the phone and called?
I'll tell you exactly how it goes.
First of all, the first thing is SHEDEUR had to verify whether it was real, because I saw that video, which is insane that somebody would ever do such a thing to anybody. Forget about who it is. But outside of that, how does that conversation go? Like, we're going to give you a shot, we're going to give you this, we'll give you that. And now, however you want to say a message has been sent or received, or whether it deserved to be sent or needed to be received, however you want to put it, he is now in a position of joining a team that not only drafted a quarterback, but one ahead of him, and could have had Travis Hunter on top of it and turned that opportunity away to get a draft choice in next year's draft, presumably because there's a better quarterback draft class next year. I give you the floor on that.
This is how this phone call goes. First of all, congratulations. You just got drafted in the National Football League. That's a special moment. So enjoy that. I know you're frustrated that you fell this far. The next thing I would say is, I know you're a competitor. You know you're a competitor. Well, this is the biggest competition of your life, because when you were in high school, you were the quarterback. When you were in college at both stops, you were the quarterback. There was no competition. You listed off all these names. You have to fight, first of all, compete to win a job on this team. You've got to get a spot. Then after you do that, now you've got to compete to try and move your way up that depth chart. For some of the criticism of SHEDEUR, and some of it is, well, everything's been handed to him and it's been kind of controlled and the path has been laid out by Deion. He's coming into one of the most crowded quarterback rooms in the NFL as a 5th round pick. he is going to have to earn everything. So that competitive nature, your dad's one of the most competitive people that's ever walked this earth. We're getting ready to find out how competitive SHEDEUR Sanders is. He's going to have to earn everything.
He's going to need the Baker Mayfield chip, their former quarterback, carry that with him. I co-sign on everything that you're saying, Daniel, and I think of it this way. I bet it's happened to you. I bet it's happened to you. There have been times where you have not gotten what you thought you had earned the way it came down. You've gotten news about certain things that you thought, you got to be kidding me. Well, how come I'm getting this? How come I'm getting something else? I thought I deserved this over here. But the opportunity remains. What are you going to do now that that's in front of you? Are you going to continue to say, well, I wanted this over here? That's not there anymore. This is what's here. It's right now. I've experienced it. I think a lot of people at home have experienced it. What's going to be the next step for you? You can be angry. You can be upset. I get it. The next step is go out and fight. And I'll guarantee you that's part of what they're talking about in the Sanders family right now.
Man, we got to call a spade on this one, y'all. Before we get started, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're about to get into what I believe happened with SHEDEUR Sanders. I say it again, we got to call a spade a spade. This was not, in my opinion, a situation where SHEDEUR Sanders really blew it. I can't believe that. I can't buy that. Unfortunately, the powers that be somehow decided that SHEDEUR Sanders would not be drafted. I'm not even sure if it was planned that he would be drafted at all. I have a feeling that they actually were toying with the idea of not drafting him at all. But somehow, I heard Michael Irvin speak about it, somehow Cleveland was able to go ahead and draft him. All right. I think there were, and maybe it was a situation where they said, you know, you can draft SHEDEUR Sanders no earlier than the 5th round, but if you want to draft him after that, feel free. But nobody pulls the trigger on him until after the 4th round is complete. Why do I say that? And what's significant about that? Well, I was tempted to say this is white supremacy, but I can't say white supremacy because there were so many black people involved. You got Mike Tomlin, actually the GM that selected him was actually an African American. So they selected a quarterback before him because they probably figured once. So I see absolutely a signal that the 5th round was the earliest anybody was allowed to draft him. Why do I say that? Because the Cleveland Browns drafted a quarterback in the 4th round, probably figuring that by the time the 5th round happened, somebody else would pick SHEDEUR. And when it came around to them that nobody else had picked SHEDEUR by the 5th round, then they went ahead and grabbed him. So that tells me that the rule or the plan was that by the 5th round, if you still want him, you can get him. Now, Michael Irvin brought up a point that makes me think that maybe there was some more to it, because Michael Irvin says that he makes a point that supports my theory that they weren't even going to draft him at all. Because we were all starting to worry about that. I heard Shannon Sharp start to speak about that. I was starting to worry that they weren't going to draft him at all. And that's because why draft him so late? You know, if you don't want to draft him in the reasonable rounds, why draft him at all? If you got that much of an issue with him, why even draft him? Now, we hadn't gotten to what the problem is, and I'll touch on that before we close this video out. But my theory here is that the plan was nobody would touch SHEDEUR Sanders before the 5th round. And if in the 5th round anybody wanted to get him, feel free. Now, why is the 5th round significant? The 5th round is the last round of real relevance, of true relevance in the National Football League, meaning everything after the 5th round, you're not even a realistic target. But the 5th round is actually the last round where you really have a chance to try and make the team. But in the realm of the 4th and 5th round, especially the 5th round, you're in the make the team realm. In the 6th and 7th round, you're in, we don't even care if you make the team. You're not even relevant, but we had to pick somebody. In the 5th round, you're actually still relevant, but they don't have enough faith in you to pick you sooner. So they believe you're not going to make it in the 5th round, and you have to prove yourself in the 5th round. So I think the league planned, or the owners or somebody, and I wonder what this meeting felt like or what this meeting went like, because there had to be a sit down amongst the powers that be, because everything was coordinated. Nobody took anything. Nobody took SHEDEUR. And I just can't believe SHEDEUR was that bad in the interview process. When I heard him, even though he's probably a lot more humble now, when I heard him in his acceptance speech when he got drafted, it reminded me of how professional this young man is. He's a showboat, but how can Deion Sanders' son not be a showboat? In fact, if you're Deion Sanders' son, you have a license to showboat. You almost have an obligation to showboat, because that's your father's legacy. If you are a Sanders, you want to continue that. So that's part of the brand. Now, I know he got basically even ousted because of it, and I know he took a lot of heat because of it. Heck, he fell in the draft to the 5th round, possibly because of it. But I think it was deeper than that. I think this NIL thing, he came in with just too much flash, too much going for him. The Sanders brand and engine had too much power and influence. And then he came in and probably interviewed with the same level of confidence and belief that they were going to do something. Heck, his brand is legendary. So he probably came in talking about being legendary, but I don't know how that could have turned any serious team that wanted a quarterback off. Okay, so this was a conspiracy in my book, and I would dare to say white supremacy. But the reason I have to rule out white supremacy slightly is because there were so many African Americans involved in this. This was a old school slave style. You know how they hang you out on the little thing with your arms through the hole and your head through the hole, and they make you just sit out in front of all your peers, and just nobody can touch you, nobody can feed you, nobody can do anything to help you. This was that old school style thing, which borders white supremacy to me. But I can't say it's white supremacy because there were so many African Americans involved in this. If a team was serious about picking a franchise quarterback that could sell tickets, that had the Sanders potential, I mean, come on, man, you got a pedigree Sanders here. That has to count for something. They made sure it counted for nothing because, of course, everybody knows they wanted to make a statement. But the bigger picture here is how coordinated it was. And they made sure that they left him the 5th round option, because they know in the 5th round, you can still make the team. You're just in last place. You're like in that last lane in the track meet. It seems like you got to run the farthest, but you way out there. You're behind everybody. So they put him in that position to cause him the most havoc, but at the same time still give a team the chance to draft him, still be able to get him. And look how cheap they got him. They stole Deion Sanders' son for the bargain basement price. The blue light special is what they got him for. And he is, I mean, man, The only good thing about this is, there's the flip side that he'll have to work for everything he gets, so it'll make him much better. And then Tom Brady was in the 6th round. He was drafted in the 6th round. So what does that really, does that really hurt you to be drafted that way? I mean, he'll be one step above where Tom Brady started out. So there shouldn't be much to fear here. But I gotta say, this was so well coordinated that down to the last round of relevance, they made sure that when he got in, he would still be able to climb his way back. It was still a business decision to allow him to be able to, he would have just enough rope to pull himself back up to the top. And if he pulls himself back up to the top like a good Negro would, like a hungry, desperate Negro would, you would have gotten a legendary talent for dang near industry bargain basement price. Y'all let me know what you think about this. I got this this was a shakedown. Shannon Sharp talking about a shakedown. This was a shakedown. This was a blackballing. This was a lambasting. This was that old school lay you out on the front lawn with your hands draped through the little wood thing, your head stuck through, everybody looking at you and laughing. That's what this was about. And they had his daddy right next to him, Deion, in the thing too, and his brother. And it looks like everybody on the Colorado team went 5th round or worse, except that gold mine that nobody could deny, that everybody, see, that's the thing. They're going to do what benefits them. So taking Travis Hunter, 2nd pick, that's all they really needed. They like, we got what we wanted. Deion and the rest of his crew can suffer. We got your best. We took back what you took from, see, Deion also took that Travis Hunter he was at a black college. He took Travis Hunter from all the major schools. So that was a take back. They took Travis Hunter back, and then they left all of Deion's people out to dry, including him. And wow, it's unbelievable. I pray for you, Deion. I pray for you, SHEDEUR. I pray for the whole. This is going to make more people love them. They're going to have even better. They're going to have even better blessings and better results as a response to this. The people are behind y'all. Y'all just got the people behind you. In Cleveland, it's a shame that you picked him. Even though you did, thank goodness you did. But you picked somebody in front of him. That says you were a part of the conspiracy. Ooh, he's going to have to pay y'all back someday when it's time to re-sign. And he's going to have to pay the NFL back. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't. We're trying to get this channel to 100 subs. Let's do it. Peace.